Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. It's Robbie Rhino, and in today's video I'm going to be reviewing the M4A1 FL10. So this tank was released yesterday on the 21st of September, and it's a tier 6 French premium medium tank. I'm just going to do a little bit of a review of the characteristics and statistics of this tank. I'm going to have a little look on Tanks GG as well, and then I'm going to be showing you two games I've had, one mid-tier and one bottom tier, so you can see how it performs against sort of lower and higher tier opponents. So, just going to go and show you the price of this thing, just first off the bat. The fully loaded bundle and the loaded bundle that come with all the bells and whistles come with the the boosters and the 30 days of premium time. So the fully loaded is 7,700 gold, the loaded is 5,900, and the base, which is just the tank on its own, is 4,100. And personally, I wouldn't pay anything above the 4,100 mark for sort of tier 6 tanks unless I was desperate for the premium time or boosters. Like newer players might want to pick up, the fully loaded or the loaded bundle, but for me, and for more experienced veteran players, I'd say 4,100 is a fair price considering what they charge for some of the tanks in this game. So tank characteristics of the M4A1 FL10. We'll start with the good points, or what I think are the good points. Well, obviously it has a 30% XP bonus earn and a 22% silver bonus earn, so that's always nice. You're getting a little bit extra per battle. If you don't fire too many premium rounds, you can still make a fairly decent chunk of silver per game. The 810 hit points is pretty sort of standard for a medium tank of this tier. And it says at the top here, mobile and hard hitting. The mobile bit is kind of correct. The hard hitting, I'm guessing they're talking about the clip, which is 540 damage per clip. But yeah, in terms of alpha damage, one shot's not really hard hitting, but yeah, it's not too misleading, as sometimes it can be a little misleading if you don't sort of look into the statistics. So yeah, what else is good? Well, we talked about the mobility just then. It's got a 17.55 power to weight ratio, which looks good on paper. It does struggle getting up hills a little bit. It's speed limited to 48 kilometers an hour. I found that you only really reach this when you're traveling over a longer distance or downhill, that kind of thing. It's hard to maintain that. And the engine power is 530, which isn't too bad. I'd say overall it's pretty average sort of speed, and it'll get you out of trouble at a reasonable rate. It's not the slowest, but not the quickest. So what else is good? Well, the aim time is very, very nice at 2.3 seconds, and with all the commander skills and perks and the equipment, you can get that down even further. And we're going to look into my garage in a bit and see what my commander build and my equipment does to these statistics. What else is good? Well, intraclip reload at 1.75 is very good. You don't have to sit out in front of your opponents for too long if you want to dump a clip into someone. And that's kind of the main sort of really decent points about this tank, is what I'd say. Of course, the autoloader in itself is very good. It's a 4-shot autoloader, deals 540 damage per clip, with 135 alpha damage per shell, 175 alpha damage on the HE. The penetration is okay. We're sort of going into the sort of okay section here. The penetration is okay for its tier. I'm just going to hop over to Tanks GG and we'll have a look. So if you didn't know what Tanks GG is, it's a fantastic website where you can compare statistics of most tanks in the game. This is a PC-led statistic website, so some of the statistics don't transfer over exactly to the console version, but it's good enough. It's usually within sort of 10 to 20 millimeters range if you're looking at penetration, that kind of thing, so you can get a rough idea. So penetration, I've chosen tier 6 medium. This is with the standard rounds. and we're going to see how far down we have to go. So top of the range, well, top in its class, 171 penetration on standard. Bottom we're looking at, yeah, under 100 penetration. So from the top, we're going to scroll down. There we go. 3 rows down, 3 rows down. M4A1 FL10, 148 penetration on its standard rounds. So yeah, it's decent enough. And we're just going to select the gold rounds here and update. And we're going to see how far we have to scroll down. So top, we're looking at 239 on gold rounds for this tier to about 200. Pretty damn good. Just going to scroll down a little bit here. And there we are, M4A1 FL10 here, 186 on its premium. So it's, you know, it's sort of mid-range to sort of mid to top to its tier. So it's pretty good. It can handle same tier, lower tier, and higher tier opponents pretty well if you know where to shoot and you know the weak points of what you are shooting. View range, 360 meters, not too bad. We'll just have a little quick look here on Tanks GG. Just going to find view range. Change it to standard, all that won't make a difference. There we go. And we're going to see. So top view range at this is about 380. We're going to scroll down, find the M4A1. It's a little... Where are we going? Where are we going? Oh, I know it's here somewhere. There we are. It was right on the top. And... there we go, that is the reason why I thought it was a bit further down. So PC has 370, we have 360 on console. So yeah, this is going to be placed sort of, yeah, mid-range again. Mid to bottom on the view range, but with commander build and equipment, you can get that up to a fairly decent level. And obviously if you sort of boost your camo, boost your view range, you've got more chance about spotting your opponents, especially at lower tiers when there are newer players, people don't maybe have the silver to buy enough equipment, etc, etc. So now we go on to the bad, or what I consider the bad points of the tank. Depression and elevation. So gun depression 6 degrees means you're going to struggle in a lot of scenarios. A lot of sort of ridge lines aren't sort of good for 6 degrees of gun depression. You can make it work, but it's going to be tough. And elevation can really catch you out. Shooting at things, you know, above that 12 degrees. If you're going up a hill and you're trying to shoot behind you, say someone's chasing you and they're on a hill like the other side of Westfield, for example, things like that, you're going to struggle to get your gun up. You've got to sort of wedge your tank up on like rubble and that kind of thing to get shots. Yeah, it can be really annoying. You can make it work, but just be wary of that. It's sort of a very key feature of a lot of French tanks in the game. So yeah, if you find yourself not getting shots, that might be a reason why. What else is bad? Well, the accuracy is 0.4 base, and I'd just like to point out this is all base, and in the garage I will show you what my equipment and commander setup does. But accuracy 0.4, you can get this down, but it can be a bit derpy. Even when you get this number lower. 0.4 isn't brilliant, but it's by no means sort of like a derp gun. It's not as bad as like a KV2, for instance. So yeah, it's not too bad. And we'll just go and have a little look at the armor of this tank. Let's click on it, go to a 3D model, and this is as if it's shooting itself with those standard rounds with 148 pen, and as you can see, 50mm of armor on the front, between 30 and 40 on the turret. Everything's green. Side is about just under 40mm of armor. Rear of the hull, 38mm. Back of the turret, 20mm. So HE rounds back of the turret, HE rounds side of the turret, 20mm. You're going to be going through. There's nothing really to add. If you extreme angling, you're only really getting up to effective like 80mm at some on the lower parts of the hull. But yeah, even side scraping, you're going to struggle unless you're sort of you know, you've got to get a very extreme angle and they can ricochet. If you over angle even slightly, you will get penetrated. Yeah, so we're going to hop into the garage now and see my commander build and see what the equipment and the commander perks and skills do to these statistics. So I'll see you there in a bit. So here we are in the garage. So I'm going to be showing you my equipment setup and also my commander build for this tank. So first, let's go into my equipment and see what I have chosen. So obviously at this tier you have a few less options than you do at higher tiers, I believe. The first thing I want to do is try and enhance my view range, because it is sort of it's average at 360. Average to sort of top, but I want to try and enhance it even more. So I've gone for advanced optics. So that's one of the slots, one of the three. Secondly, even though the aim time is pretty nice, the interclip reload of 1.75 means that you're going to be reloaded before you're fully aimed. So I want to try and get that as much as possible so I can get my clip out as quick as possible and stay out of harm's way. So I have selected an advanced gun lay and drive. I have played around a little bit with the powertrain and the traction system, which helps get up to top speed, helps with the max speed, max horsepower, that kind of thing. And at that tier, it kind of felt like I didn't really need it. That is a viable option, though. If you're finding that you're aiming just fine between your interclip reload and you feel comfortable with it, by all means go for that instead of the gun lay and drive. And for the third option, I've also tried concealment, which can help as well. And you'll see with my commander build, it's very sort of concealment based, because it's actually my Batchat 25T French medium tier 10 crew. But I have gone for vents just to give that 5% boost to crew performance over everything. Yeah, so that's what I do. It's a bit of a risk not selecting something that helps with like getting set on fire, that kind of thing, because it's a French tank. They seem to like getting set on fire quite often, but I do run food, as you can see, and premium consumables. I understand if you can't afford the silver, then just select the standard consumables. Food, it just helps massively, boosting that view range, boosting everything really, passively and actively, obviously, when you activate the food. If you're scared of getting set on fire, then by all means take a fire extinguisher. But yeah, this is what I choose, and this is what I find pretty good. In terms of ammo, I take a healthy selection of the APCR, the premium APCR, for those higher tier matches when you're fighting tier 8s. And I don't take any HE. You could take some HE for sort of artillery, so you can get that juicy plus Gucci's medal. But yeah, I usually just take sort of 3/4 standard AP and a quarter premium APCR. So now we're going to go into my commander build. So yeah, like I said, this is my Batchat 25T tier 10 French medium crew, and that's very, very stealthy crew. And I've kind of just carried it over, and I'm using the camo alongside boosting the view range to sort of try and outspot the opponents. And it's, like I said earlier, at lower tiers, maybe people don't have 9 skill commanders, sort of especially newer players that haven't played that many battles. Yeah, and I recommend boosting your view range in pretty much every tank that you have, just so you can stay hidden, you can outspot enemies, and you can fire without being detected. Right, so we're going to go into the commander skills I have now. So 6th Sense, standard on every tank I have, gives you that, that knowledge that you're spotted, that you have to sort of pull back behind cover. Yeah, and I think it's just the best skill in the game, personally. Next, Born Leader. Why wouldn't you want to increase the skill effectiveness and crew performance by 10% in every tank you have? So these two stand on every tank that I pretty much that I have, and I will do a separate video with commander builds for sort of heavy tank, medium tank, light tank, even artillery. And that will be, like I said, that will be a separate video. Next skill, rapid reloading. It does work with autoloaders as well and auto reloaders. It doesn't help the intricately reload, but it does help the reload of the clip overall. So 10% increase. Why would I not want to boost that horrific DPM? Yeah. Next, steady aim. 10% increased accuracy. Again, why would you not want to be more accurate? Snapshot. Again, increases accuracy during turret rotation. Why would you not want to be more accurate? And those are the sort of very key ones that I pick. These 5 here on many tanks, sort of medium, light tanks, heavy tanks. And now I can sort of go into more specialist skills that I pick in like light tanks and medium tanks, and sort of more lower tier, so I can outperform the enemy. So situational awareness, 6% increase to max view range. And then we're going to go into the 3 camouflage skills that I've used in this commander. So camouflage expertise, 10% increase your vehicle's camouflage factor. Silent driving, so that's a 55 over half decrease to your effective driving on your vehicle's camo factor. I don't use this on light tanks, as it says it's ineffective on light tanks because they have they don't lose camo bonus whilst moving. And last, muffled shot. This skill does work. I used to have green thumb until it was announced on the Wargamer stream that it's been investigated as a bug because it doesn't work. So I switched it out. Green thumb out for muffled shot. And let's see what it's done to my commander. So now, compared to the base what I had earlier, so I've got a view range now of just shy of 420 meters, and a still concealment value of 347. So it's not great, but it is it's decent. And at lower tiers, like I say, you can outspot a lot of players. Yeah, and I think it's a nice looking tank. That's pretty much the extent of the gun elevation there, as you can see. So now we're going to hop into these gameplays. I have 2 for you. The first gameplay I'm going to be showing you is where I'm mid tier, and the second one is where I am bottom tier fighting against tier 8s. You'll be able to see how this tank performs. So I will catch you in the gameplay in just a bit. Hello everyone, and welcome to the first replay. And as you can see, we are on Westfield, which is probably my favourite map in the game. I just think, you know, it's got so many great positions for different classes. I missed it for so long, and I'm so happy that it's back in the game. So yeah, we're on Westfield in the M4A1 FL10, and this is probably my second or third game in the tank, something like that. I've only played a handful of games, and I'm already really enjoying the tank. One thing I didn't tell you about this tank in the garage review is that it's actually bottom in class in terms of DPM. It's something like 1300 DPM or something tragic. Some tanks have like 2200 DPM at this tier. So yeah, it's a balancing mechanic because of the autoloader basically. So pick your fights carefully, and you can still have pretty decent games. So yeah, in this replay we are mid tier, so it's a tier 7 game, fighting down to tier 5, and I'm going to head over now to one of my favourite positions on this map, where a lot of sort of, especially at higher tier, the stealthy mediums and light tanks at all tiers go. So down here at like the sort of FG 7 area, using the foliage to try and spot the cross down towards the south. So I've activated my food boost, as you can see, and I'm just going to try and see if I can outspot some some players that don't have as good camo or as good view range as me. So I'm reversing up into the foliage because it's slow to sort of get going. I want to be facing downhill, so if I'm spotted I can zoom down the hill, weave in and out, zigzag, and try and avoid the enemy fire. So yeah, as you can see, we've spotted KV1. We're going to try and put our mag into the KV1. So we missed the first. Second sets him on fire. Yeah, and he gets finished off by the Sky Pig. So he's back in the garage within a minute and a half. So, you know, he's not had a great time. We also spotted that free 3001H German heavy tank, and he's gone as well. So that's 2 tanks that we have helped get rid of straight away. And now we spotted this British Bulldog, and we're trying to put our shells into him. And I was a bit concerned I'll be spotted, but I'm lining up so that the bushes are opaque, so I can shoot and not get spotted, basically. And then I'm going to rinse and repeat trying to spot things. And already we picked up 860 direct damage and nearly 500 assistance, and we've nearly taken, or well, helped to get 3 tanks. There we go, 3 tanks out of this game already, and it's looking good for our team. I noticed that that C-34-88, which is a fantastic tier 6 tank, is over on the flank. He must have evaded my view range, and I get spotted by the heavy behind me. I think that was us or the heavy tank that spotted the artillery, but we're gonna, you know, I thought we were gonna go down the hill and zigzag, but I must have been pretty confident there's nothing there that's gonna shoot at me, and I've noticed a lot of tanks are to the north, so I'm gonna sit here. This is sort of the extent of what you can do with 6 degrees of gun depression. Yeah. And there we go, I'm reversing again. Now I'm gonna go up towards the sort of middle, try and spot the town. I've got a sort of good firing line behind me, and the TD's camping at the bridge. I say camping, they're actually helping. I mean, that's kind of what you're meant to do in some TDs, just not in a mouse at tier 10. But yeah, that's for a different day. So we're going to try and get a magazine into this M4, got one in. Bounce the second. I bet he gets obliterated by the Sura Mill. That has a nasty gun. Big reload, but a nasty gun. Yeah, but the scores are pretty even now. Our team have kind of... some of the tanks are throwing themselves away. I think, like, I've been doing enough. I've been sort of extending the view range as much as possible. And from this position, you can sort of spot the south. Especially at higher tiers, you can spot the sort of the east side of the map, sort of where I'm firing to now. Lower tiers, because the view range is like 50, 60 meters lower, that it can be hard. But yeah, we're just trying to light things now, and there we go, going down, zigzagging. That's why it's so important sometimes to reverse up into positions and face away. There we are, so we can get away quickly and avoid fire. And we're just basically rinsing and repeating what we're doing earlier in the battle, really. We spotted a T-29. I'm pretty sure that he's stock, or he hasn't got the top gun yet. And I'm feeling fairly confident in this tank's capabilities. Haven't lost any hit points yet, and even though the scores are level, I feel like if I can keep my hit points, if I can sort of finish tanks off, that's, you know, that's a good thing. So I noticed this T1 Heavy was up here earlier. He was sort of, is it half health or sort of quarter health, and I want to go in and finish him off. He's not even looking at me. He turns his turret round, misses a shot, and I put 2 in and finish him off. And yeah, I'm on the reload again. Because of such a quick reload, I've got the reload down now to, well, we'll see in a bit. That's also something I didn't go over in the garage. Just how much my equipment helped it. I think it's, yeah, down to sort of 15 seconds-ish, so knocked about 3 seconds off the reload, which is good. And I've seen that artillery shell going, and I thought about going over to spot him, but I'm thinking I might get shot here from the sort of south, so I'm just wiggling, and I make a bit of a misplay really here. At a higher tier I would have got probably obliterated there, but you know, I'm a bit more risky at lower tiers. I feel like I can sort of outplay quite a few players, not everyone of course, but I feel like I know my limitations a lot more at this tier. And artillery, gonna try and go for this Pascucci's medal. One more, there we go. Even on the move, like 6.0, you know, you can hit like 3 out of 4 shells in a clip, in this clip anyway. And yeah, so now the scores are 8-5, and it's looking very good for our tank. 13.8 seconds is at the actual full clip reload there, as you can see. So yeah, even better than I thought. And now I'm loading APCR to go after this T29. I just don't really want to bounce. I feel like I can afford the silver. Yeah, and I feel like it's kind of worthwhile just paying the extra to make sure I actually pen the shots if he turns around for me, that kind of thing. I know there's a T67 which is very stealthy, a very stealthy tier 5, yeah, tier 5 TD. He's probably on the ridge up to my left. There we go, I'm spotted, so I'm just going to try and advance, get under his gun line. And I feel pretty confident now that I can take out these tanks, as long as I don't lose all of my hit points to the T67. He puts one into me, but I get into cover. And yeah, the shell velocity on these rounds is also something I didn't mention. It's about 900, late 900s. meters per second on the AP, and the APCR is like 1,100 meters a second. So very, very decent. You don't have to lead too much. It's not too bad. Not as bad as some of the AP rounds. And that T67 is trying to escape. Miss our first shell because we're a scrub. Miss our third shell because we're a scrub. We're trying to finish him off, and we didn't lead quite enough there. It looked like a fairly decent shot, but you know. Yeah, and we're going to try and bait this Black Prince round, so the TDs and the heavy tanks that are towards the northeast and get shots into him. Making him, you know, I'm faster than him, making him trying to chase me, and he's got his rear to the enemy and he's getting shut down. And yeah, it's just these two tanks left now. This T-29's fired, I'm taking my chance. Gun depression failure there, but I'm going for the tracks. Gonna be at this angle, I can damage him and I can immobilize the T-29. I sort of momentarily wait on the last shell just so he stays tracked for a longer period of time, so I can hopefully pick up more assistance when my teammates shoot him. But I don't know what they're doing. I guess they don't really fancy shooting him. He puts a shell into me. He's definitely not fully upgraded, so I'm going to go back. Same thing again. APCR is going to go straight through, and he gets finished off by the OI experimental. And now it's 1 tank versus 6, so unless we monumentally screw up, I think we have this game won. So I'm going to try and get to this medium tank as quick as possible and get some more damage, maybe get another kill. I say another kill, I can't even remember if if I've had a kill in this game. I guess we'll see it in the end game. But yeah, we've picked up 2.9k direct damage, 1.3k assistance, and it's an all-around decent game. You won't have to do much more than this to sort of free market. We get one into the T-3488. Unfortunately, we don't get our blind shot in, and I believe he gets finished off, there we go, by the Sturrer Ramil, who's probably had a decent game as well. Fire 1 in celebration, and that's it for that game. So yeah, we finish MVP, which is always nice. We have actually got kills, we got 4 of them. 3.1k direct damage, 1.3k assistance, Mastery Badge, lovely Pascucci's Medal, Confederate, high caliber, and yeah, an all-round decent game. So I'm going to hop into the next replay where we are bottom tier and show you how we get on against higher tier opponents. So see you there in a bit. Hello everyone, and welcome to the second replay. And as you can see, we're on Abbey, which is a map that I don't often see because I've been playing mainly between tiers like 8 and 10, and also Cold War. So it's a nice change to get on this map. We are in the same tank, which is very useful considering this is a replay of said tank. Yeah. So what do I like doing on Abbey? Well, there are a few options. Like most wargaming maps, there's sort of three avenues you go down. There's like the east, central, and west. On Abbey, I like going to the middle. So we're going to go and try our luck at the middle. Be careful, it's a very highly contested spot. Platoons like tanks and fast mediums will contest that area, so try and make sure you're with teammates or that you can retreat if necessary. But yeah, we are bottom tier, and this is a great showcase of what you can do when you are bottom tier. Don't AFK, don't think it's over before it's begun. You know, do your best, try and make as big an impact as possible on the game, and that in turn will give you better games. It's good practice, and it will, you know, hopefully increase your win rate and how happy you are playing the game. So we're gonna lock onto the Iron Rain, fire when we know that. Here we go, we can duck into cover. 6.0 grants us luck, and we penetrate, and we're going to go straight onto the reload, get into this little nook here, which is keeping us hidden from the artillery, keeping us hidden from enemy fire, and we're going to wait for a sort of ambush opportunity here. We're fully reloaded, AP rounds, and we're going to try and extend our view range out down sort of towards the southeastern corner. See what's spotted in their base, get some shots in. We spotted this Panther 88. We're going to get 1 in, get 2 in, lovely stuff. Are we going to get 2 more, or are we going to go for the reload? There we go, spotted a Tiger P. Going to try and go through the top of the Tiger P, but even looking down on the Tiger P, tier 7, it's fairly well armoured, we are going to struggle to penetrate the target P at that angle. But going on to the reload again, it's not too long, even though it does have the worst in class DPM. It doesn't feel too long when you've been playing things like Rhinoceronte at tier 10. Yeah, a bit hell on earth, but I still like that tank for some reason. But yeah, anyway, more about this tank. We've got shots into the MX-12T and the VK-4503. We've got 2 shots left, and this unsuspecting 3601H is giving us his side, and we're going to duly oblige and get back into this little nook. I'm always keeping an eye on the map to see if any tanks coming up into the middle, but we've got this position now. We're securing it, and we're going to try and finish off this 3601H. Going goes in, one bounces, another bounces. I'm going to try and quickly snap a shot in. There we go. One more in, and now he's a one shot. Back on the reload, food boosted to get that reload as quick as possible, and the 3601H gets finished off by the Progetto 54. And yeah, we're up on tanks. We've already got 1.1k direct damage and 500 assistance. That's a pretty decent game anyway, for a lot of people, including myself, in a tier 6 tank, especially one that you haven't played that often. I'm going to try and get a couple of shots in, or just one on this 12T as he tries to escape. Going to keep the shells in the magazine, wait until this 4503 is not looking at me, and then going to dump a clip in. So we've gone for the reload APCR because I want to make sure I do go through, even though we're looking directly down on top of his plates. He is a tier higher heavy tank, so I want to doubly make sure that I go in. Going to wait till he backs up a little bit because of the gun depression. This tank has only 6 degrees. Side of the turret, top of the hull again, and I think, yeah, one more into the side of the turret, and now he's a one shot. You know, and we're having a big impact on this game. Nearly 2k direct damage now, and just by being here, we're spotting tanks to the like down the 8 line, down the 7 line, because it's encounter. You know, it's a very useful place to be, but it's a very good place to be on most of the variants of this on this map. So we finished off that 4503. Now we're going to sort of try and extend our view range out as we get unspotted, down towards the south, towards their spawn. Notice that piggy, but we're going to try and jump on that and this AMX AC46, but we don't manage it. Going to go for the ram, fire on the move, because if we miss, the ram would have killed him. In the blink of an eye, it's now 2 against 8. 2 shots into this general on the move, and we're going to go straight for the reload, I believe. There we go. We're going to try and get under this ball 6 gun. He's not even looking at us, and because it's a higher tier tank, we want to be the one spotting. There we go. Nice bit of spotting there. Spotting and shooting this tank. We're going to try and finish this tank off in 3 shots. A little salute there with the reticle. 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shot. I'm going to go for a ram for some extra damage. Why not? Can't take the hit points in for to the next game. And there we go. We leave him on a 1 shot. Going to go in for the ram, but we don't manage to get the kill. But we've had a good impact in a bottom tier game, and that's what you can ask. We got 3 kills, finish MVP, 3k damage, direct damage, and 720 assistance. Some nice bit of silver, even though we've had some premium ammo, sniper badge, mastery badge, which isn't too impressive considering it's a newly released tank. But yeah, I recommend this tank. If you like the look of it, if you like what you've seen, if you feel like you could replicate, you know, patience and using your tanks to its strengths, then by all means I think it's a good tank. But there are more competitive tanks for newer players, things like the T-34 85M, T-34 88, you know, Soviet tanks are always a good choice. But yeah, it's pretty decent, and obviously it's your money, your choice. But I like it. I'm probably going to pick it up. Yeah, and I think you'll get on with it if you, just play to its strengths, use the autoloader, go in on unsuspected enemies, stick with your teammates, and you'll have fun with it. So I think I'll leave that one there. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for supporting my content, as you all have done already. If you like this format where I'm doing a bit of a garage reviewing over the website, that kind of thing, let me know in the comments. Let me know what other tanks you'd like me to review. And I hope you have a great day. I'll see you all on the battlefield, and bye for now.